Long ago, in a kingdom surrounded by dark forests and distant mountains, there lived a queen who wished desperately for a child. One winter day, as she sewed beside a window framed in black wood, she pricked her finger. 3 drops of blood fell onto the white snow outside. She whispered a wish, that her child would have skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as black as the window frame. Her wish came true. The child was named Snow White. But happiness did not last. The queen died when Snow White was still young, and the king remarried. The new queen was beautiful, intelligent, and cruelly obsessed with power and appearance. She owned a magic mirror that revealed the truth to anyone who dared ask it. Every morning she stood before it and asked, "Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" For years, the mirror answered, "You are the fairest of them all." The rise of jealousy. As Snow White grew into a young woman, her beauty was impossible to ignore, not just in appearance, but in kindness, honesty, and grace. One morning, the queen asked her mirror the usual question. This time, the answer changed everything. "Queen, you are fair, but Snow White is fairer." The queen's pride shattered. Her admiration turned into hatred. She saw Snow White not as a stepdaughter, but as a rival. Unable to bear the thought of being second, the queen ordered a huntsman to take Snow White deep into the forest and kill her. As proof, he was to bring back her heart. Escape into the forest. The huntsman led Snow White into the forest, but when the moment came, he could not do it. Snow White's fear and innocence broke his resolve. He confessed the queen's plan and urged her to run, never to return. Alone and terrified, Snow White fled deeper into the woods. Night fell. Trees twisted like shadows, animals watched silently, and fear pressed in from every direction. Exhausted, she collapsed and fell asleep on the forest floor. The Seven Dwarfs. At dawn, Snow White discovered a small cottage hidden among the trees. Inside were 7 tiny beds, 7 chairs, and signs of hard-working lives. Hungry and weak, she ate a little food from each plate and fell asleep across the beds. That evening, the owners returned, 7 dwarfs, miners who worked deep in the mountains. Their names were Doc, Grumpy, Happy, Sleepy, Bashful, Sneezy, and Dopey. At first shocked, they listened to Snow White's story and, moved by her honesty, offered her shelter. Snow White stayed with them, keeping the cottage warm and alive. For the first time since her mother's death, she felt safe. The queen's dark plans. Back at the castle, the queen questioned her mirror again, only to hear that Snow White still lived, now hidden with the dwarfs. Furious, the queen turned to dark magic and disguise. She planned to kill Snow White herself. 3 attempts to kill Snow White. 1. The tight bodice. Disguised as an old peddler, the queen offered Snow White a beautiful bodice and laced it too tightly. Snow White collapsed, unable to breathe. The dwarfs returned just in time and loosened it, saving her life. 2. The poisoned comb. The queen returned again, offering a jeweled comb coated with poison. When Snow White placed it in her hair, she fell lifeless. Once more, the dwarfs removed the comb and revived her. Despite their warnings, Snow White's trusting nature made her vulnerable. 3. The poisoned apple. For her final plan, the queen created an apple, half poisoned, half harmless. She took a bite of the safe side to convince Snow White it was not dangerous. Snow White took a bite. She collapsed instantly, her breath stilled by a sleeping death. A glass coffin and silent grief. The dwarfs mourned deeply. Unable to bury her, they placed Snow White in a glass coffin, watching over her day and night. Seasons passed. Snow White did not decay, she only slept. One day, a young prince traveling through the forest saw her and was struck by her beauty and stillness. He asked to take her coffin, unable to leave her behind. As the coffin was lifted, it stumbled. The poison piece of apple dislodged from Snow White's throat. She awakened. Justice and a new beginning. Snow White reunited with the dwarfs and later learned the truth: the queen had been defeated by her own obsession, destroyed by the darkness she created. Snow White returned to the kingdom, not as a frightened girl, but as a young woman shaped by hardship. She married the prince, ruling with fairness and compassion. She never forgot the forest. She never forgot the dwarfs. And she never became like the woman who tried to destroy her.